The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome in to an all-new edition of the Belly Up Fantasy Live Baseball Show on the Belly Up Sports Network. It's another episode to bring you the greatest fantasy baseball advice that there is possibly out there in the universe right now. I'm Vince Stover, joined as I am every week by the senior writer at Belly Up Sports on the fantasy side of things especially. And today he is batting cleanup. Kevin Wilson, how you doing, man?
Vince, doing great, and we're battling storms down here, but we're pulling through, so life is good. And I actually had a weekend off,
There you go.
and so that was awesome. And of course, we're talking about baseball. So what could possibly be better than this right here?
Well, and I'll tell you this: this is going to be one of the more unique shows we've ever done, Kevin. So.
Okay.
Typically, we do our shows on Sunday evenings. Occasionally, our work schedules hit in a certain way where we got to push it to Monday. But tonight is not that reason. Tonight, the reason why we pushed our episode to Monday is because we have an interview tonight. We're bringing a guest on the show, and I'm super excited about it. Ron Franklin Jr., he plays for the Firefighters in Banana Ball, so in the Savannah Bananas League. And I'm really excited. I don't know Ron well, but I've had Ron on another show that I hosted for a while, a couple of times. And so know him briefly, and reached out to him and said, "Hey man, would you be willing to come talk banana ball with us?" He said, "Yeah, let's do it." So he couldn't do last night because of a scrimmage they had going on, but he said, "I could do a Monday night if you can." And I said, "Let's do it, my friend." So here in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll have Ron Franklin on the program. And excited about that. But before we get to Ron Franklin, let's get into segment number one. We call it our Fantasy Burner. Fantasy Burner segment is presented by BellyUpSports.com. It's where you go to find all the articles, fantasy related or otherwise, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and all kinds of other things as well on the BellyUpSports.com website, and all kinds of great content streaming for you on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel as well. Segment number one today, we're looking at a couple players that are on a hot streak, and we want to discuss, will they maintain that streak, or do we think they're going to peter off here in the near future? Kevin, we both come up with two guys this week. Let's start with your first guy. Tell us about him.
Okay, so I wanted to stay away from the obvious choices. I'm not going to talk about any Aaron Judges right here or any of that they're hot, and you don't need me to tell you that Aaron Judge is going to stay hot. But I was looking at this one particular player, which I have a hard time trying to figure out, especially in a dynasty league. I'm talking about Jack Leiter, the pitcher for the Texas Rangers. And in Dynasty, he's at 19.6% rostered. And this confuses me tremendously because in Dynasty, you're looking towards the future.
Right.
Hopefully. And this is I'm going to say very young, but he's a young guy.
Yeah.
And he right now is pitching extremely well, even though he's pitching for the Rangers who can't score. But he's at 19.6, as I said. And last time out, he pitched 5 2/3 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 base on balls, 23 fantasy points. And then right before that, at Tampa Bay, he pitched 5 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 base on balls, 19 fantasy points. And so this guy has been pitching into the 6th inning on a regular basis. And I highly suspect that this is going to continue. And because he's pitched 5 1/3, 6, 7, 5, 5 2/3, and then 5 innings. So he's going to give you innings. And so I really, really like this guy, especially I've got him in Dynasty and Redraft. So if you're in Redraft as well, I like him over there. But especially in Dynasty, I don't understand how he's less than 20% rostered, but he is a guy that's hot. I expect him to stay that way. Maybe not so much in victories, because like I said, if the Rangers score 3 or 4 runs, that's a major miracle. But he's keeping the ball in the yard and keeping the scores low. I
Yeah.
really like this guy for not just this season, but also going forward. So if you're in either redraft or dynasty, pick this guy up. I really like what he has to offer.
Yeah, people were a lot more excited about Kumar Rocker coming into this season, and Leiter has just been better than Rocker this year. Rocker
Right.
just got sent down again this week. And you're right, Leiter's been good. It's amazing. You go back to May 24th against the White Sox, he only had a 5-pointer in that one, and you go, man, that would have been the one you thought he was going to do great in. But against Colorado, against Houston, against St. Louis, and against Tampa, all good outings. And even against the White Sox, he went 5 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs. So it's not like he was bad in that game either. But from a fantasy perspective, I'm with you on Jack Leiter. He's been playing really good baseball. He's next up Wednesday night against the Twins.
That's right.
And, it's the Twins aren't crushing it right now. They're a good ball team, but they're not scoring a lot of runs. So
right.
Still,
they were,
I feel
but
safe
not
with Jack
now.
Leiter starting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right, let's keep it with pitchers. The guy that I'm going on with right now that's on a streak, which is hard for me to admit since he plays for the Chicago Cubs, but is Jameson Taillon. And this guy has been just crushing. 48.3% rostered in ESPN leagues on the season, 6-3, 3.54 ERA. He has 20+ fantasy points in his last 4 starts. All last 5 starts have been quality starts as well. He's not allowed more than 3 runs in his last 5 starts in those games as well. He's been pitching just lights out. His last game was against Detroit, one of the best team in Major League Baseball right now. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, got the win in that game as well. And again, it pains me to say anything nice about the Cubs, but Jameson Taillon's been doing some really good stuff this year. And again, I'm with you like you are with Leiter. I think with Taillon, he's gonna continue this throughout the rest of the season.
I do as well because I want to be biased or anything, but he's also on my fantasy team, one of them. So I'm completely with you with him, and as long as I can pronounce Taillon,
yeah,
I'm doing great. And so I'm totally with you on him.
All right, give me your second player.
So my second player is somebody, because back on the 10th of May, okay, he gave up 7 runs and got 1 out. And so everybody was like, oh, we don't have anything to do with this guy. But since that time, I'm talking about Lance McCullers of the Houston Astros. And he started off injured, came back and got absolutely hammered. But since then, he's gone 13 points, 16, 27, 27. He's pitched 6 innings in his last 2 games. He's given up, and since that 7-run outburst, he's given up 5 earned runs total since then. Okay. And so he's walked just 2 guys in his last 2 starts while striking out 19. And tomorrow he pitches at home versus the Chicago White Sox. There's not a softer landing spot in the entire, well, except maybe if they're playing Colorado at home. Okay. But besides that, and beyond that, even I like because he's gotten over the hump, and showing that he's gotten his arm back in gear. And so for this season going forward, Lance and the Astros have shown us, as they do every year, they start off a little and they let Seattle take the lead, and Seattle's all giddy and everything. Then Houston runs them down, just like this year. And so Houston is a quality ball club. We know this. And going forward, I like Lance McCullers. After this Tuesday, I really like him going into tomorrow's start.
Right.
But beyond that, this is the guy that you want on your fantasy team, but don't try it in our league because it's not happening. Okay? So this is a guy I think is going to stay hot, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do going down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't have as much confidence as you do in McCullers moving forward this week for sure. I feel better with him as a streaming pitcher versus an on my roster all the time pitcher. But I don't argue that there's definitely the potential for him to continue that streak going forward as well. All right, for my last guy, I told you it was going to be Max Muncy, Kevin. I changed it on you.
Okay.
So hopefully you didn't do a lot of research on Muncy. Muncy's been good. No doubt about that as well. But I want to go, we'll keep it with the pitchers. Ryan Pepiot in Tampa.
Okay.
His last 3 starts, he's gone 7 innings, 6.2 innings, and 6 innings. 3 quality starts in a row, 20-plus fantasy points in each of those games against Toronto, Houston, and Texas. He allowed no earned runs against Toronto and Houston, allowed 2 earned runs against Texas. But in that Texas game, 8 strikeouts as well. He's been a fantasy stud these last 3 games that he's pitched. Up next is Tuesday night. That's tomorrow night against the Boston Red Sox. Not a super great matchup, of course, there. But I kind of, the Red Sox are not, consistent right now either. So I don't mind to start Pepiot tomorrow night either in our fantasy lineups. But, and listen, I will be the one to admit that in the preseason, I crushed Ryan Pepiot. I talked about watching him last year live and stuff. Listen, overall, he's not been bad this season. His ERA is at 3.20. That's good. 3-5 is his win-loss record, 177 fantasy points on the season. Pepiot's been much better than I thought he was going to be, and I think he's going to continue that upper teens performances, at least in fantasy baseball.
I have to also confess that because I was researching this, and the stats said that he is a traditional fly ball pitcher, which I thought was going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts in that new stadium because of that short right field port. But he has overcome that. And Tampa's going to have a lot of road starts. Games coming up.
You're right.
So they played already. They wanted them to play down there where it was cooler in Tampa and or wherever the stadium is that they're playing in. The Yankees minor league park or the spring training place.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing a lot more games on the road. So I think that's going to help him as well.
Sure.
So I think going forward, forget what we said in the preseason. Just
well, there's a lot of good things we said in the preseason.
We did. We said a lot of good things, but this was not one of them. So just put that out of your mind. And so if you've got Ryan Pepiot on your team, I would keep him on your team going forward. And I don't know about Boston, but I think that's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then going forward, I think he's going to be a tremendous second half pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah. And we may talk about Tampa here in a few minutes as well.
Okay.
All right. That's our fantasy burner segment presented by Belly Up Sports. Again, go to bellyupsports.com, get all the latest articles. All of Kevin Wilson's articles are there on bellyupsports.com. And then, of course, on YouTube, the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel as well. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking some fun baseball with Ron Franklin Jr. First, a quick word from our sponsors over at Righteous Felon.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
All right, it's time for segment number 2 of the show. We call it the Hot Corner. Our Hot Corner is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution. RighteousFelon.com. Use the promo code BELLYUP for 15% off your purchase. On this fantasy baseball show, we've not had a ton of guests come on this show, but tonight I'm excited to introduce or reintroduce you, if you've already known him, to the one and only Ron Franklin Jr. Ron, how you doing, man?
How y'all doing? You good, man?
Awesome.
It's
good to see you.
Oh, I like the little setup you have now, man.
Thank you. I still got my EKU hat up there. I actually need a new one. That one's I've been wearing that one a little bit. I need to get them to send me another one. But I moved to Wisconsin recently,
Oh, really?
Ron, and it's a little cold up here. But I got to represent still. I got to represent. So Ron played college ball at EKU, Eastern Kentucky University, had a great career down there. And Ron, I want to hear your experience because now you're playing for the Firefighters and Banana Ball. Tell me, how does this experience, how does it come up? Like, how did you get connected with the league and with the team, and how did that process go?
Honestly, all I can say is it's a blessing, to be honest. But so after the season last year, I had an internship at a Harrison Construction Company in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I was there for 2 months. And during that internship, I had a tryout for the Detroit Tigers. So I went to the tryout for the Detroit Tigers, and that went good. I did pretty good. And then I thought I was going to get drafted, like late rounds. They was talking, and didn't happen. So I'm like, I don't know what's next. So I went back to EKU to like train and stuff with Coach Jones. He was still up there, and a couple of friends. And Coach Jones was like, do you want to like try out Banana Ball? I know a guy. So he hits him up, and I go to a tryout in Dallas, Texas, and I dress up as a pimp. I had a pimp suit on. So I'm like, okay, like first impression went good. So I played good in the Banana Ball game, the Banana Ball scrimmage, hit a couple bombs in BP. And yeah, man, I was trash at the trick plays, like terrible. Not even gonna lie to you, terrible. And then the dude that invited me to the tryout, he hit me up like I want to say like a month later, hit me up. And he was like, can you send me some videos of you doing some trick plays? And I'm like, yeah, I got you. So I sent him the videos, and like 2 days after that, he called me and offered me a contract. And then now I'm in Banana Land now. So it's a blessing.
That's awesome. And first of all, shout out to Walt Jones. He took over a tough situation there at EKU, and his time at EKU is done now. But I want to shout him out too. He's great guy, and looking forward to see where he lands next as well. But man, that's cool. If you don't mind talking about the emotions of expecting to be drafted, having that good workout, all that kind of stuff. Like, what is the emotion going on in that process? And when that call doesn't come, right? Like, what's the first thing on your mind then?
I'm like, dang, like what I'm gonna do next? Like,
yeah,
nothing was. So when I was in Knoxville, it was because the draft is in July, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, draft is in July. My people came up. So we sitting down watching the draft. I'm watching these people get drafted like before me, like in our conference, the ASUN conference. And I'm like, I'm next. Nope, didn't happen. And then after that, a couple indie ball teams hit me up, and I'm like, man, I do not want to play indie ball like at all. So I was about to go do that construction thing, like for real, for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And the thing, I went up to EKU, and Coach Jones helped me out, man. But
isn't it amazing? And you'll see this the older you get too, how an opportunity, a decision can affect your life, right? And just the decision to go back and work out for a bit affected your life greatly. That's cool. Tell me a little bit about the Firefighters, because a lot of people know Savannah Bananas and they know Banana Ball and the concept, at least of it and everything like that. Firefighters are a new team, is my understanding correct?
Yeah.
A relatively new team. So tell me a little bit about the makeup of the Firefighters.
I honestly don't know like the story behind the Firefighters, but
yeah.
Honestly, I know it's one of the brands they're trying to like expand on, like next to the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
But that's why we are playing like the Bananas in all these MLB stadiums.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And we played the last 2 weekends. We played in KC, and then we went to Anaheim, California, which was amazing, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was speechless. It's always been a dream of playing like on the MLB, like in an MLB stadium, like, and now I'm doing it, having fun, like nothing to stress about, nothing, like just going out there, being yourself, entertaining with different fans, man. Like it really is a blessing. Like I'm happy I've done this.
I'm curious about that transition from the college grind, right? You got classes, you've got I know you have a schedule now, but you had the schedule, all this kind of stuff. and that's stress free, have a good time, go out. You still want to play well, obviously, you know, and everything like that. But the idea of, hey, I can go out there. I mean, you've got personality. You've always had that, but now like your main job is to entertain, as opposed to your main job before was, you know, to get on base and you know, and not get out, not strike out, not do whatever, don't, you know, whatever. And now it's like, hey, I'm just gonna go out there and entertain people. Like how cool is that?
It's so much fun. I'm not even gonna lie. My first game, we played in front of, I want to say 40,000 in Kansas City, and I was speechless. Like I was like, geez, like look at all the people here for us. Like, and you know how we do like the yellow thing, and I want to say it's the top of the 7th inning, and everybody turn all the lights off and put the cameras up and the lights, and you just look around and you just like, dang, like I made it, man. I made it. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, it's been wild so far. We go to Michigan next week though. Well, this week.
Well, and I was looking at the schedule, the firefighter schedule, and seeing how close you were going to be. I'm in the southernmost part of Wisconsin, and I was like, okay, Chicago's the closest place you're going to be to me. That's in August, I think, sometime in there. So I don't know that we'll make it down or not, but they sell out. Like every stinking game is sold out, which is crazy because you're talking about. It's not like they're selling out, you know, the beautiful EKU Stadium, but they're selling out Major League Baseball stadiums. I just find it so intriguing to see how it's come along. I was reading up a little bit on the Bananas and the league starting and all that kind of stuff. It's just neat to see a couple that was just passionate about having fun baseball. And they played in I forget the league now. They played in the league for a few years, and then they pulled out of that, started their own thing. And now it is what it is. You guys got 4 teams. You're going around. You're traveling all these places. Who's the coolest person you've met in your time so far with the firefighters?
The coolest? Does he have to be on my team? Or it could
No,
be
man. Anybody.
Coolest person I've met. Do you know who Ty Jackson is?
Yeah.
He played at Florida A&M?
Yeah.
Yes, him. He plays on the Savannah Bananas.
Okay.
The funniest dude I know. I'm talking energy ball. Like all over the place, like bouncing off the walls, man, like non-stop. But I love Ty, man. I'm not gonna lie.
So what does a day in the firefighters look like? Like you go to practice. Is it practicing dancing more than baseball, or like what are you practicing in practice?
Not even. So like I'll practice it. Say we start at 10 o'clock. We'll hit, we'll throw, we'll take mass ground balls. People like infielders doing their trick plays, outfielders taking pop-ups, they doing their trick plays behind the backs, backflips, you know, stuff like that. And then we hit on the field. And it's not really that much of like dancing at practice. It's more of like, so say we travel, we leave Wednesday, we play Thursday. So before the game Thursday, we'll get to the field early, like 9, 10 o'clock, and do our rehearsal. So like the dances and stuff, that's all scripted. The dances and stuff is scripted. Yeah. The game itself is not. Like we are out there competing, trying to win the game.
Yeah. Is there are there any incentives? You know, I'm not going to ask you about the finances of it, but is there any incentives as far as like if you make a trick play versus a regular catch? Like, is there anything from that they're telling you, hey, this is what we want you to do?
Not really. You really just on your own. Like you can make up any trick play you want, but a lot of people just do their own thing for real.
Yeah. It's kind of like building your own brand, right? I mean, you're part of the Savannah, the Banana Ball brand. You're part of the firefighters brand, but I'm assuming they encourage you to go out and build your own brand. I mean, I know I follow you on social media, so I see your videos and stuff like that, but I assume they highly encourage you to go out and build your brand.
Yeah, they do for sure. So like social media is big in Banana Ball. Like that's how you get your name out there. All the other stuff that comes with it. So like now I'm starting from the ground up on social media. So I'm trying to, you know, get all the followers, like all the people. I'm trying to get everybody, you know, trying to like get to know me. So
yeah,
for sure. Once you get it to Banana Ball,
man, I love it. I'm gonna bring Kevin up here. He's my co-host on the show. Let me pull him up. I got a better screen for us here. There we go. All right, Kevin, you heard him say Dallas, and I saw you light up when he said Dallas. Kevin lives down there in Dallas.
Yeah, so because I'm in the Dallas area, and so How long were you in Dallas, and what did you think of the Dallas area when you were down here?
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear you. It cut out.
What did you think of the Dallas area when you were down here? What was your impressions?
So I stayed. So the tryout was at the UIA. I want to say it's downtown Dallas, and like all the buildings was like close to each other, and I feel like that very overpopulated, and I would.
Dallas wasn't your favorite place, huh?
Nah.
Ron likes those wide open spaces.
Yeah, everything was just too close downtown in Dallas.
So when it was brought to your attention about this league, did you have an idea of what it was when it was brought to you?
I had no clue what banana ball was. Not even gonna lie. Like I was all focused on getting drafted, trying to make it to the league, and banana ball came, and I'm like, this is like very eye opening. But honestly, it fits my personality. So like, I'm a very goofy person. Like I love to make people laugh, and this is like the perfect thing for it. So
how did you get yourself prepared for like your first workout? Did you do some research on social media? How did you prepare yourself when you very first got your exposure to this?
For the tryout, you mean?
Yes.
So for the tryout, I was in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I was lifting, I was hitting a little bit, nothing crazy. I did look up like how to do some trick plays, and I went out there. I was terrible at it, not even gonna lie to you. But at the end of the day, it's baseball. So I've been playing baseball since I was 12. So as long as I can catch a ball and hit a baseball, I'll be, and just be yourself. So what kind of, because baseball, is summer. Is that the same kind of season for this thing?
So baseball, he's asking about your season. Like what months do your season go? Is it all summer, or what's the season look like?
For banana ball?
Yeah.
So I got up here, spring training was April 1st. So we go from April 1st to, I want to say, the middle of October. And then we don't start back up till February, I want to say. So what's the final, what is it that you're shooting for? Is there a championship with this, or how does that work? So they do have at the end, all teams, it's like a little championship. It's 4 teams. It's us. It's the Firefighters, the Bananas, Party Animals, and the Texas Tailgaters. We all going to compete, and whoever wins the championship takes it all. All right. So where's the championship? Where's that played? In Savannah, Georgia. Grayson State. All right.
That's one of the reasons the banana ball got going was the owners wanting to bring back baseball to that stadium in Savannah. And it's really cool how they've tied in their love of baseball with the community there in Savannah, and now growing that even bigger with these other teams that are coming through as well. Do you guys have a home city that you guys are practicing? Are you guys all 4 teams located in Savannah?
Yeah, we all located in Savannah right now.
And Savannah's a nice place, right?
Kind of remind me of New Orleans.
Yeah.
So not a lot of big buildings in Savannah? Nah, not really. Okay.
But a lot of fried food in Savannah. I ate very well at my time in Savannah.
The food here is pretty good though.
Yeah.
So what's your if you were going to go out to have your favorite meal there, what would that be? Oh, that's a good question. Because lately I just been eating Chipotle. Not even gonna lie to you, but we did have a place called, me and a couple of my teammates went to a place called Zunzi's Bar, and they sell like these sandwiches. It's like, I didn't have the sandwiches. I had 20-piece wing, but I saw the chicken wings and I'm like, yeah, I'm getting that. But they sell like these sandwiches. I don't even know the names of them. They got one called, I think it's called a Godfather, and it's a whole bunch of stuff on it, but it looks pretty good. They loved it.
So tell me, Ron, are you content? You say, hey, this is life for me now. I love it. I'm happy here. I'm going to do this. Or are you and your teammates and the other players in Banana Ball, is there still aspirations to go to the MLB, or are you guys saying, hey, this is a pretty good life right now? I think I'm pretty happy here.
Honestly, man, I'm like, if a team would call me right now, I'd be like, I'm good, man. Like, because you would have to start from what? Low A,
yeah.
And I'm already in Banana Land, in front of 45,000 already doing it. You over there working your way up. I'm staying here for sure.
Yeah.
So
And
what
that's
kind
cool.
of what does your uniform look like?
Our uniforms. So we
Yeah.
have three. We have a red, yellow. It like kind of got flames on the jerseys and like by the ankles. We have a black and like orange and yellow, which has the flames at the ankles. And then we have a black one. It's like black and green. Like, you know how like the caution sign is?
Mhm.
Yeah, something like that, like the jersey.
It looks like a firefighter jacket is what it is. It's got the fluorescent across the front of it and everything.
Those are my favorite ones.
Super cool uniforms. They all are. Actually, I say that I've seen the Party Animals, I've seen the Bananas, I've seen yours. I've not seen the other team. I haven't looked them up, honestly, but
I think the Texas Tailgaters have jerseys.
Yeah.
So the Texas Tailgaters, where are they located? Do you know?
We all in Savannah.
All in Savannah. So they just took a name of Texas and that was it.
Honestly, yeah, but eventually we all gonna be moving to like a certain spot. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I don't know a lot of information about that, but eventually we're gonna expand and like certain teams will be in certain locations.
Yeah, I would assume as the league grows, more teams come in because the brand is there. It's growing like crazy.
Yep.
Like I said, since the Bananas have been, I think maybe since they've been an organization, even when they were in the minor league system, but maybe it was after they pulled out of that, they've sold out every single game. There's not been a game that hasn't been sold out. And that's nuts.
Great.
Oh man, Ron, I'm intrigued because, when I was talking with some of the football guys from EKU, I always talk to them about, okay, there's all kinds of opportunities, right? There's the CFL, there's the UFL, there's Arena League. There's all these things. If you don't make it to the NFL, you can go these routes. And, Jeremy Edwards, the punter, went to the CFL, and next thing you know, the gates opened, right? Peyton Collins is up there. Vincent Munlin's up there. Somebody else up there too. I forget who. Jared Mitchell was up there too. He didn't graduate at EKU. But anyways, do you think that now with this opportunity for you, do you think this is going to kind of maybe open some people's eyes to, that to the ASUN, those kind of players, to guys that you played with at EKU and those kinds of things? Now it's kind of becoming a legit opportunity for guys to look at what other options are out there.
Yeah, man. I honestly do think that, because we have a couple people that play pro ball that's like really loves it right now. They on the visitors, but they're trying to work their way to making the team, and they're loving it in Banana Land right now. I have had like a couple friends like ask me like, what do I need to do to get in Banana Ball Land? And I'm like, bro, like I'll put in a good word for you. Like you don't have to worry about a lot. Like I'll put a good word in for you. All you got to do is go out there and just be yourself and just perform. But I honestly think like it's gonna get wild. You're gonna see the people that's gonna be in Banana Ball, and you're gonna be like, dang, he's in Banana Ball right now. Like it's gonna get crazy. I'm telling you.
Who is one college teammate, only one, that you would say personality, like it would just make sense for him to be in Banana Land also? Who would be that teammate?
I'm gonna have to go with old Santi Peralta.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go.
He's a good dude. I saw him. He's one of the last EKU baseball players I saw in person. I actually saw him at a volleyball game at EKU. Me and my wife went and caught up with him. He met my son, who was umpiring at the Little League and everything like that, and which was really cool. So I like Santi a lot, but that's cool. Well,
okay, so
Ron,
if you're sitting back and you're sounding like this sounds very interesting, how does one watch
a Banana Ball
the
game?
Banana League?
All you gotta do is go to YouTube and type in Savannah Bananas. It's free.
Okay, so there you go. So all the people out there listening, there you go, YouTube.
Kevin, check this out. You buy a ticket. If I understand this correctly, you buy a ticket. If you get lucky enough to get a ticket, the concessions are all you can eat.
Yep.
Included with your ticket.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So
it's different stadiums though.
In Savannah, it's that way.
Yeah, in Savannah.
In Savannah, it's that way. So there you go. So if you're gonna go to a game, go to Savannah. There you go. Kevin, you got an anniversary coming up in a couple months. You research where they're going to be. Go buy yourself a ticket and enjoy, my friend.
Let me know.
Okay.
I love it, man.
So,
Ron, thank you so much for taking time for us, man. I'm so glad it worked out that we could chat. We'll keep you in mind as your season goes on, as you guys win the championship this year. We'll get you back on to celebrate that too. But
that's
man,
right.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you're happy. You know what I mean? Like,
That's right. There's few people in this life that get to do what they, really enjoy, and you're one of them. So
I'm blessed. I'm blessed for sure. I don't take none of this for granted at all. But I appreciate y'all for sure.
Ron, thank you, my friend. I'm so excited for you. Looking forward to keeping up with you guys. And like I said, follow you on. Tell people where they can follow you on social media.
Follow me on Instagram _LaRon LAHRON, and you can follow me on TikTok, Ron Franklin Jr. for sure.
There it is. So I'll make sure we put that in our descriptions on our videos and stuff like that too, so people can just click on there and find it as well. But a great follow on social media. It's a lot of fun. Instagram's a lot of fun to watch. You post a lot of videos with your teammates and stuff like that too. So it's cool. But Ron, thanks, man. I appreciate you.
thank you so much.
Y'all stay blessed, man.
We will.
We will. Ron Franklin Jr., the Firefighters of the Banana League. It's such a cool thing, man. And it's really cool when you see the owners, what they've done to build up the brand and what they're doing there. A lot of people know about the Savannah Bananas. They don't realize about the other teams that are in the league now as well. And I was wondering that he said, the dances are scripted, but nothing else is. It's a baseball game. And, I just got done with a softball game and it was pretty entertaining as well, but not on purpose. It was a lot of falls and things like that. Not near as funny or great as what's going on down there. And Ron's a great dude too. So check him out on social media. We will post those handles for you in the description of a YouTube video and podcast as well. So very cool. All right, real quick, Kevin, I want to hit a couple more things before we transition to our third segment. Roman Anthony got the call in Boston. Comes up in Boston, of course. Caglianone.
I wanted to tackle that one. Yes.
Yeah, he got called up too this week. What do you think about Roman Anthony? What do you like or dislike? What do you expect from his time getting called up there in Boston?
Well, it seems like, because the original thing was they were going to move some players around, but then they decided this guy needs to be in right field. Yep. And so they put him over there. So they believe in him. And it's surprising to me because we all saw the grand slam that he hit to the outer regions of, the universe. And so it's kind of surprising to me that it's taken this, that they've taken this long to bring him up.
Yeah.
But they did. And we will see, because there have been players that have been ballyhooed since the beginning of time. Yep. And then they're back in the minors. But I think that he's got every opportunity. I've seen people adding him like crazy.
Yeah.
And that's totally fun, especially in Dynasty. People have been waiting for him to come up. And so we'll see. With Boston needs some, I know they just won 2 out of 3 against New York, but they're 8.5 games out of first. So any kind of boost that they can get, I think will work. And so I'm really excited to see what he can bring to that team.
Yeah, I was able to snag him in one. I'm in 5 leagues. I was able to snag him in one. 2 of those leagues are dynasty leagues, so he was already off the board. But the other ones, he had already been picked up as well. So I only got him in our league, in our belly up leagues, the only league I was able to land him in. And I love taking a shot on guys, especially high end prospects that get called up. I love adding them, seeing what they do, and see if it works out for them as well. I think it'll be fun to watch. I also wanted to hit on Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is 4-6 on the season, but he holds a 1.88 ERA, second lowest in the NL, which my first thing that comes to mind is Jacob deGrom in his heyday in the Mets. And I sit here and watch what Skeens is doing in Pittsburgh. They got the win, even though he didn't get the win. And
that's right. He only gave up 1 run.
One run.
Poor guy and was not the winner.
But listen, Skeens has said all the right things. Yeah, we're going to make Pittsburgh a winner again and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. How long, does he, if you're Jacob deGrom, do you call Paul Skeens and say, dude, get out?
Well, the only issue with that is because he's only in his second year.
Right.
So he has no kind of, he can't say anything to anyone because he doesn't have the kind of, Jacob deGrom has been pitching forever.
Yeah.
And so he could call up somebody and have, them say, "Oh, it's Jacob. We need to listen here." Paul Skeens is only in his second year, and he's going to have to say the right things for quite some time, I think, until he gets later on and Pittsburgh knows, well, he's not going to resign, and hopefully he'll stay healthy. And then when he gets maybe year 4, and then
Okay.
because they only got 2 more years for free agency, and Pittsburgh is not going to be able to re-sign him. We know this. They know this. And so maybe he moves on. But right now, he just has to toe the line.
Man, I feel like he's a player empowerment, man. I feel like he's got opportunities to do whatever he wants. But I appreciate what he's doing. I'm not saying I don't like it when players go out and demand to be traded. And I would appreciate the idea of being there for the rebuild and being there through it all. But Pittsburgh has not shown very many signs of their willingness to get better.
No.
And I just hate that Paul Skeens is going to go to Mike Trout, go to Jacob deGrom. Even deGrom's situation was different than Trout's and different than Skeens, but still, Trout, granted, they got Shohei. They did a little bit. They tried to sign some veterans that didn't work out and stuff like that in that process. But you don't want to see Paul Skeens waste his career in Pittsburgh. So one of two things needs to happen. Either they need to move him or they need to do better. They need to go out and get those players, and they need to do their part. And I'm all for that. Pittsburgh's a beautiful stadium. Pittsburgh's a baseball town. I'm all for them getting better, even though they're in the Brewers Conference. That's the best thing for baseball is Pittsburgh doing the right thing and building that team up. Hopefully they'll take the time to do that because what an embarrassment if they don't.
To go to a game in Pittsburgh would probably be one of the great baseball experiences, I would imagine. Just being in that stadium.
Yeah.
But just like with Colorado, the Pittsburgh management is not making it easy
right.
to like anything about them.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything changing. And like I said, so Paul Skeens is he's got he's only, like I said, he's got no leverage.
Yeah.
Until 4 years, and he's getting his 4th year, and he can say, you know what, I'm not going to resign.
Yeah.
So you might as well send me to the Mets or Yankees or whomever. And then they'll start all over again, just like we talked about. They trade them and get 7 guys from single A, and then they just start all over again. So that's what I see happening here.
All right. I don't want to go through all the standings, but I want to touch on a couple quick things. Philadelphia 2-8 over their last 10. They did win they're winning today, or they won today. I forget. I think they won today. So they're
do
10
some
games
real-time research right here. Okay, hold on.
Okay. They're 10 games above 500, but they're 4 games back from the Mets because the Mets have gone 8-2 in their last 10 games. And so we see a little bit of a shift there in the NL East. In the NL Central, all 5 teams are 500 or above in their last 10 games. So that's crucial. Reds on a 4-game win streak. Pirates swept the Phillies, and they're on a 4-game win streak as well. Still 13 games below 500, but
Phillies beat the Cubs. We can confirm that information 4-3 in 11 innings.
There you go. So we're seeing some of these races get fun. The West is still a one game for Padres Giants back at the Dodgers.
And the Dodgers and Padres start a 3-game series tonight.
Crucial series.
Crucial for both teams, and we'll see what happens.
Rays and Jays both playing really good baseball right now. They're 5 games above 500. They're 4.5 back from the Yankees. Last week we mentioned we don't think anyone's going to catch the Yankees, but the Rays and the Jays are the 2 teams we kind of talked about at the beginning of the season as we expected to be at the bottom of this division. We expect the Orioles and the Red Sox to be better. And right now the Red Sox and the Orioles aren't doing their part. Although the Orioles have won more games in the last 2 weeks than they've won in a while. But that being said, the Rays and the Jays are doing their part, and they look to be, contending for playoff spots.
Well, we'll see, because like I said, the Rays have been playing most of their games at home early on. And so we're going to have to see, can they maintain that when most of their games are on the road? Maybe because they're Tampa, somehow or another, they always seem to come through. But I don't think that they're going to be able there's no chance I'm giving them to pass the Yankees or anything.
Right.
But
Agreed.
we'll see how they do, and they're challenging for a wild card spot, which a couple, not that long ago, are like Tampa, shovel them guys out the back of the truck because it's not happening.
And Toronto too. We were so
And Toronto
down
too.
on
That's
Toronto
right.
and what they were looking like. And they've been playing a lot better. In the AL West, Houston, 2.5 games up now.
Right.
They are 7 games above 500, and the
Right.
Mariners 2 games above 500, and then the Rangers, the Angels, and the Athletics are all below 500 in that division right now. Mariners did not have a good
No,
stretch.
they did not.
But their run differential sits right at 0. So they're dead even on runs scored versus runs allowed right now.
That's not going to cut it because it's the same problem.
Problem.
They've got a catcher that's hitting home runs all over the place.
Yes.
And setting record for catchers, home runs and everything, but that's not having any impact because their offense in other places is not good.
Cal Raleigh was on my list of hot streak batters. I chose not to cover him tonight.
Right, because that's low-hanging fruit right there.
He's been playing really, really well right now.
Yes, he has.
All right, I'm ready to get the waivers. Are you?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Hot Corner, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky, righteousfelon.com, promo code BELLYUP for 15% off. And boy, that may have been the best Hot Corner we've had in the history.
That's right. So so if you missed that, go back and watch it. Even if you watched it once, you probably want to watch it again.
Watch it again. All right, let's head into segment number 3. It's our fantasy focus. Fantasy Focus is presented by SeatGeek. Go to SeatGeek.com to find all your tickets. I believe Banana Ball is on SeatGeek. I could be wrong. I should have looked that up before I said it. But nonetheless, it's really hard to get tickets. They sell out really fast. Anyways, go check it out. SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code BellyUpSports. You get $20 off your first purchase. All right, waiver wire ads and drops. Let me give you one drop real quick. Carson Kelly, catcher for Chicago Cubs. He was, I used Carson for a large part of the beginning of the season. Played really well. Actually, I had both Cubs catchers on my roster for a while because they were both playing well when they played. So just bringing one in for the other. Neither one of them are on my roster anymore. And Carson Kelly, I think it's time to move on. Go find you another catcher. I say it all the time. Listen, unless you got the top tier catchers, you should be rolling through catchers almost on a weekly basis. Get with a guy while he's hot, and then drop them and find somebody else. There's plenty of them out there right now.
Right. That's right.
Drop this week is Carson Kelly.
That's right.
Who do you have to drop this week?
Okay, so I didn't want to get too negative either, so I only have 2.
Okay.
And one happens to be a catcher. Okay. And that's Sean Murphy of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Everything is falling apart as we sit here for the Atlanta Braves. And he has lost in the last 10 days, he has 17 at bats. And that's all. Which in those 17 at bats, he has 2 hits. We've talked about the rookie before. He's taken over the catching position for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
And he's looked really good. Other parts of that team don't look so great. But so Sean Murphy, you don't need him on your team. Banish him to the outer realm. And the other guy is low-hanging fruit. I realize this, but Lewis Roberts of the Chicago White Sox on the 6th went 2 for 3. Yeah. He does this where he'll go 2 for 3, and then people start to say, well, he's going to come around.
Right.
But he's 0 for 22 outside of that 2 for 3 game. So don't buy into this. They're talking about they might trade him. But even if they did, I'm not buying into Lewis Robert at all. So I'm banishing him to the outer realm as well. So those are my 2 drops. I didn't want to get too, into it. And, I get carried away sometimes with that. But they're the only 2 that I have.
Okay. I like it. I like it very much. Listen, I don't remember who else I saw. Someone else got sent down. Rocker was one of them. Somebody else got sent down this week. As always, unless you're in dynasty leagues, guys get sent down, you drop them. And listen, you keep an eye on them if you like them and you want to pick them up when you hear they're going to come back. Great, go for it. But when they're in the AAA, there's no reason. I've got one AAA player on one of my 5 rosters right now, and it's Bubba Chandler from Pittsburgh. And I got the ability to have an extra bench guy just sitting there doing nothing. and I want to make sure I've got him when he gets called up. But for these other players that are getting sent down, no, let them go. It'll be okay. I promise. You'll recover from it. All right, let's get into our pickups this week. Kevin, let's start with you. Who's the first guy you want to add?
Okay, so the first guy I'm going to go with is we talked about Toronto just a moment ago, and my first pickup is Addison. Is it Barger?
Yep.
Okay, and he's a third baseman, outfield at 17% rostered, which blows me away because why? He hit homers in 4 straight games earlier. Okay. And so out of his 13 games, he has 4 2-hit games aside from those home runs. So he's hitting the ball. He's playing on a team that is getting better. And third base is one of those positions. We talked about this before, that there's not a lot of depth at third base. So if you need somebody, and I did, so if you're in my league or our league, don't go looking for him because he's nowhere to be found. But in other leagues, go ahead. If he's available, I would pick him up right out of the gate.
Yeah, I've seen him rostered in most of the leagues I'm in, if not all of them. I'm with you. I'm a little surprised he's not in more. His percentage is not higher than what it is. I like that one for sure. Let's go back to Chicago. I don't know why I'm talking about Chicago so much today, but Michael Busch, first baseman for the Cubs.
I was looking at him. I was.
He's, 2 weeks ago or late last week, he was on fire, right? He had 2 double-digit scoring runs in a row, 2 home runs back-to-back games, multiple hits, all that good stuff. This week, he slowed down a little bit over the weekend and stuff. He had a great game against Detroit on the 7th with another home run there. Didn't do well today against Philadelphia, but I like what he's giving if you need first base help. And I will admit, there is a lot of first base eligible guys out there right now or around. Wilmer Flores is a guy we've talked about. San Francisco moved on from Wade, sent him to the Angels this week. They've got a guy they called up in the Double-A that, oh man, it's going to be really good for the majors, but he's not there yet. So you might be able to find better first basemen, but if you're looking for a first baseman, I like Michael Busch. Right now, the Cubs are playing good baseball. They're in a tough series against Philadelphia right now, but still, I like what Michael Busch is doing right now.
He was a guy, I'll be honest, I was looking at, so I'm all in on him. All right, so I'm going to switch over to a pitcher, and even though, like we mentioned, the Yankees lost 2 out of 3, but Clark Schmidt is a guy that I'm looking at this week, and he's at 16.2% rostered. And against Cleveland, 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 7 hits, struck out 8, walked 1. That should be sufficient for a win. It was not. But at Los Angeles Angels, no runs, 4 hits in 6 innings, struck out 4, walked 1. So that's much better. And so tomorrow he's at Kansas City. And if it wasn't for the pitching, Kansas City would be buried because their offense has not been that great.
Yeah.
Even at home.
Yeah.
So in that start, Clark Schmidt, I like him going into that start. And I expect the Yankees to put some runs on the board. So I think that he could come away with a win and get yourself maybe 15 points, fantasy points, somewhere in there. And if you have a guy that you can stream to get you 15 fantasy points, that's about all you can expect. And if you receive that, you are in great shape.
Yeah. And I thought it was hilarious. I'm a Vinny Pasquantino fan. I know people are trying to unload him and all that kind of stuff right now. That home run he hit this week, or he hit it, had no idea where it was, didn't know what was going on. Hilarious. All right. Let me give you another player. Probably should have said him before Michael Busch, to be completely honest with you. Boston Red Sox first base, third baseman, Abraham Toro. He is crushing it right now. He's 4.5% rostered in ESPN leagues. In this week, he had a 5-pointer against the Angels, 4 against the Yankees, 4 against the Yankees, 12 against the Yankees, and a 5-pointer tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays as well. He's just been on fire really ever since the start of the month. He's been playing some really, really good baseball here in the month of June. Again, the Red Sox aren't doing all that we thought they should be doing.
Right.
But they got some young guys and some different guys getting opportunities right now. Abraham Toro is playing really good baseball. So if you're looking for a corner infielder, mean, I'm tempted to add him, even though I don't need him, to be quite honest with you, on my team. But I like Abraham Toro a lot this week.
Okay, so I'm going to also go with another pitcher, and might find this hard to believe, but he pitches for the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
All right, he's at 5.9% rostered. I'm talking about Edward Cabrera.
Yeah.
All right, which he's got a 3.99 ERA. You will take that in today's MLB, right? In the last 2 games he's pitched, he has had 27 and 18 fantasy points. On Friday, he pitches against the Washington Nationals. And I know that's a few days, but it's already Monday. So that's something that you need to be thinking about coming into the weekend. And that's a start. I think that, this is a classic guy right here, a streamer.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. So you stream him on Friday. As soon as the first game starts, then you go ahead and send him back to waiver land. And I've 10 points, 15 points, somewhere in there is something that streamers, if you're looking for 20 points out of a streamer, you're probably looking that this is not happening.
Yeah.
But 15 points, I think he can do that. So I like that as a start coming this Friday.
Well, I'll tell you, in 2 of my leagues, I have been streaming Cabrera all season long. He has been one of my go-tos of, I need to get a starting pitcher in today. Who's starting? Edward Cabrera's starting, and it's not a bad matchup. Yeah, I'm taking him. I love that pickup, Kevin, 100%. All right, let me go to another pitcher, 0.9% rostered in ESPN leagues. He plays for the Sacramento/Las Vegas/Oakland Athletics, and his name is Mitch Spence. Mitch Spence has spent the whole season on the out of the bullpen until this past week. He came out against Minnesota. He went 5 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a win against Minnesota Twins, 19 fantasy points. This week, he pitches Tuesday. So if you're not watching us live and you're listening to this Tuesday, you got to go get him fast. He's playing the Angels this week in Anaheim, or in Los Angeles, excuse me.
It's in Anaheim. You can say that.
and so he's pitching Tuesday night against the Angels. Mitch Spence, he's been good out of the bullpen. He's been getting positive points for the most part out of the bullpen, but now they've moved him to the rotation with his performance on the 5th. They're giving him another chance. So listen, we've talked about several different A's pitchers this year, positively. Mitch Spence, great outing last week against Minnesota. Let's give him a try this week as well against the Angels. I'm in on Mitch Spence this week. Okay,
so I'm in on him as well.
Okay.
And as soon as you mentioned, I was like, why didn't I talk about him? All right, so the last guy I'm going to talk about is a Pittsburgh Pirate. So I'm all over the map here. But Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, I've talked about him before.
Yeah.
All right. And he was just dropped in our league, which fascinates me. But he's at 8.7% rostered. He's hitting 299, so basically 300. In his last 13 games, he has 11 hit games. And out of those, he's got multiple hits in multiple games. And he plays all these different positions. And so because the Pirates didn't play today, so that's probably explaining why he got dropped. But so that means he'll play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Thursday is a black hole. We all know that in fantasy baseball. So if you have a chance to get him, then that will fill that spot on Thursday. And it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, so don't expect him to be scoring a lot or driving in a lot of runs. But he's also stealing bases.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that I like on that team, and just get him on your team because you can slide him in just about anywhere in your lineup. So I like him going forward. And as long as he's hitting the ball, you keep him on your roster. Once he stops doing that, then kick him.
I like it. All right, to close out our show today, I want to bring up a trade that I made this week.
I saw this. Go ahead.
And I wanted to get your thoughts on it. We talked about Matt Olson recently on the show. I acquired Matt Olson. I traded Wilyer Abreu and Christian Walker to get him. First of all, I want to say this. I have been trying to unload Wilyer Abreu in every league I have him in. I was in on him early. I got him in a bunch of leagues. He was playing really good baseball in Boston, and he's not anymore. So I have been offering him to everyone. I've started a swing high to begin with, and I figure if they say no, then I can look at other options. I felt like this was a pretty high swing personally. Christian Walker's not been good this season either. I got him off of waiver wires, I think from you, Kevin. Did you cut him in this league? I don't remember. Somebody dropped him.
Let me see here. Let me call this up.
Somebody dropped him in this league. I picked him up. No, I see here. Yes. Sorry.
There it is right there.
Christian Walker has not been great. Let's see here. He was drafted by my dad, dropped on April 13th, added by Kevin on April 19th, dropped by Kevin on April 21st, picked up by me on April 28th. I've held on to him all this way, and I've told you before, I'm very patient with these guys that I think have potential. But I was sitting there going, okay, and I just saw Wilyer Abreu is now on the injured list. I did not know that when I traded for him. Traded him away. But Wilyer Abreu and Christian Walker for Matt Olson, I think I won that trade, but curious to get your thoughts on it.
Okay, so because you're looking at this, and we're in June now.
Yes.
And so trends are not trends anymore. They're just they're are the way they are. Yeah. He's hitting 207. I expected way more, and you can tell that because I picked him up. I tried him.
Yeah,
and I gave him a couple of games, and then it went sideways. So I'm like, nope, I'm out. But here we are, over a month after that, and he's hit 207.
Yeah.
So it's got to be one of the biggest. And Houston's winning despite this.
You're right.
And so if you had a chance, and Matt Olson, the Braves are one of the more fascinating teams in all of baseball because they lost their first 7 games and they were trying to rally. But as of today, they're back in another 7-game losing streak.
Well, and they beat the Brewers tonight.
They beat the Brewers tonight. Okay, so unfortunately for you,
they snapped that streak. Yeah.
But I would take Matt Olson 200 times out of 200 times in a trade like that.
Yeah.
Even though the Braves hitters have been massive disappointments as well. But they're scoring runs though, but the pitching has broke down for them.
Yeah.
So I like this trade a lot.
So next week we're going to discuss trade strategies in our first segment. Because I want to go through a little bit of this. I've been accused in football leagues of being a low ball offer guy, which is not entirely true. It's somewhat true. I'm going to make an offer that I think I win to start off with, and then we'll go from there. Right. So we'll talk about some trade strategies next week. I think that'll be a fun conversation to have for sure.
Okay.
All right, Kevin, tell us about your content, where we're going to find you at this week. What's going down on the bellyupsports.com website?
When you go to the Belly Up Sports website, you will find my articles over there. I don't have anything up there so far this week because of my schedule, but we're still talking. We have to be talking about Dynasty, Fantasy Football, and go to check out both of your and mine and Brian's rankings as far as tight ends and quarterbacks and everything else. We will be talking Dynasty again tomorrow night. So you definitely want to be here for that. Saturday mornings, I am on the No Credential Required show. You can expect that over the summer. We talked about baseball, and we talked about how in the world does Florida only attract 6,000 people. We talked about that. And so that's out there. And
by the way, that's my kind of baseball game. If I can go to a baseball game, a Major League Baseball game, and there's only 6,000 people, I'm happy.
I would be, if I lived in the Miami area, I would be extremely pleased to go to a game where I pay probably $15 and then sit wherever I want.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's out there. And I've got my MVP of fantasy baseball, which people have commented on, especially my choice from last week. I will defend that. Marte. Okay, Ketel Marte was my choice,
I like it.
and I'll defend that. He personally destroyed the Atlanta Braves last week.
Yeah, I tried to acquire him for Wilyer Abreu, so I like it.
Okay, so that's out there on the Belly Up YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you can always find me on, we still call it Twitter here,
Yep.
okay, at Kevin62 WILSEA. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Reddit. And people have always commented to me on Reddit, some good, some bad. So if you got anything to say, feel free to do so.
I like it. I like it a lot. Like Kevin, you can find me tomorrow night, Tuesday evening, on the Belly Up Fantasy Football Live show. That's on the Belly Up Sports Network. So wherever you're watching this is how you can watch the Belly Up Fantasy Live Football show as well. Podcast-wise, both the baseball and football show have their own podcasts. So Belly Up Fantasy Live Baseball show, you can subscribe on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And the same is true with the Belly Up Fantasy Live Football show, also available Apple and Spotify. We just had our first episode last week. Episode 2 for the season is tomorrow night, Tuesday night, as well. So check that out. Thursday night, me and Dad will be back. We are previewing the Big Ten this week. Potentially another guest coming on the show. We've had 2 great guests so far this season. ACC, we had Maddox Marcellus from Virginia. Last week, we did the Big 12, and we brought on the Houston running back, Rashawn Sanford, and great interview. I loved Rashawn's interview. Really, really fun. This week, we have a request out for Dane Key, Nebraska wide receiver, Kentucky transfer. So make sure you check that out Thursday night on the Sports Stove Football Show, available on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel or the Sports Stove Football Show podcast as well. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sports Stove. Check out the show notes for more information on how to follow Ron Franklin Jr. on socials. Such a fun interview. And I really appreciate him. Again, Ron's a great guy. So I really appreciate him coming on and you guys getting to know him a little bit today as well. Sure appreciate you tuning into this edition of the Belly Up Fantasy Baseball Show. Next week is Father's Day. So we'll either be a little early or a little late or on the same day. We don't know yet. But sometime next weekend, we'll have the Belly Up Fantasy Live Baseball Show back at you. Probably still Sunday night. But nonetheless, it'll be there and ready for you. Thanks for tuning in this week. Enjoy baseball the rest of this week, friends, and have yourself a good week.
Yep. We'll see you next time.